I'm Charlie. This is Moving Home with Charlie. Welcome. One of the very first videos I did on this channel was a reaction to Phil Spencer's bad advice on how to choose an estate agent. It'll be linked to there and in the description below. Take a watch of that video because everyone knows that estate agents have this terrible reputation. As the biggest fan of what estate agents do, I'm afraid that the reputation the industry has as a whole is fair. Okay? I'm sorry, agents, if you're watching this. Most of you don't deliver what you could and should deliver to customers. Now, this is a problem because it means that the minority of agents that do get tarred with the same brush as the rest, and everyone thinks all agents are the same and they're not. So, decades of bad advice is, I'm talking about when you do go online and say, how do I choose an estate agent? What's advice to choose an estate agent? No matter where you look, no matter whether you go to the consumer website, or you go to newspaper websites, you go to the BBC, all of these websites provide the same terrible advice. Let me explain. The advice they give, you will find, if you look into it, is basically, we don't really have any actual advice.
Yeah.
We haven't got any specific pointers. We've got some general, vague stuff that will take you ages if you follow it, but actually we're just filling our column inches of journalism and sounding like we know what we're talking about. But why? Why would a journalist know anything about choosing an estate agent any more than anyone else does? Mm-hmm. Even estate agents don't know how to choose estate agents. Okay? I know thousands of estate agents, hundreds of them very well, and scores of them personally. And I have lost count of the number of times that an estate agent who's been working in the industry for 20 years has come to sell their home somewhere and has gone through the process and had exactly the same experience as a consumer. They've gone, oh my God, they're awful. So watch the Phil Spencer reaction video. Phil Spencer's a great guy. He's an expert on property. That doesn't make him an expert on choosing an estate agent. He's not an expert on estate agency. He is, and I will bow down, and I am not worthy of his expertise on property. Okay? Literally, that's his expertise. But stick to what you know, Phil. You're not an expert on estate agents. I'm sorry, you're just not. Based on the advice in that video. Pick an agent that's got lots of boards in your town. Well, having lots of boards in your town also means that they're not selling those properties. And I know from the data I've seen in the industry that a lot of the agents with the most boards, not all of them, but a lot of the agents with the most boards actually have the worst performance in terms of how many they actually sell. And they don't sell as many as 2/3 of what they list. So that is not good advice. If all the boards say sold, maybe, okay? But just, it's not a pro or a con, because there are agents with no boards up that are very, very good, okay? Number 2, ask around. I mean, isn't that the most vague piece of advice? It's like standing in the street, hi, does anyone know which estate agent I should choose? You ask people for their opinion, they'll always give you an opinion. It doesn't mean it's a valid or valuable or worthwhile opinion. Yeah. And even if you ask someone that has used an estate agent in your town, how long ago was it? Do the same people still work there? Were the market conditions the same? Is the property that they were selling the same as your kind of property? Because only if they are you is their opinion and their experience of an estate agent actually valuable. Yes, they might say, look, I know someone and he's a really great girl, she's a really great person, talk to them. That's not bad advice if it's a personal recommendation of someone that they know personally who's a great human and they feel you could trust that person. That is a better than nothing piece of advice.
Yeah, I would say consider them.
Yes, consider everybody. That's ultimately the only advice.
Put them in the ring.
But unfortunately, it's not going to help you avoid the pitfalls, okay? Because there are lots of nice estate agents who aren't very good at their jobs. So just being a nice person is not a reason to choose an estate agent. Online reviews. I'm not going to bore you with the reasons why, and I have nothing to gain from saying this, but estate agency is the one industry where online reviews are not helpful because they tend to be polarized. You get a few people who go, oh my God, I've had an amazing experience. And some who go, oh my God, I've had a terrible experience. And I've seen great estate agents with bad reviews and vice versa. Look for an agent that's a member of an association or a trade body. Why? that guarantee that they're a good agent? No. Does it mean that agents who aren't a member of a trade body are bad agents? No. Nothing against the trade bodies. A lot of them provide training that's very valuable training. And I'm not saying that the trade bodies don't have their place. What I'm saying is being a member of a trade body is no assurance of a great outcome when choosing an estate agent. Decades of bad advice on papers who say, look at the boards, look at honor reviews, ask around, and look at trade bodies. I'm sorry. The proof that that advice is useless is the fact that it's been the same for decades, and yet moving house is an even worse experience now than it ever has been, and people are making a choice of agent based on worse criteria than they ever have done before. Mm-hmm. So if you've watched this, don't be a dummy. Please don't ignore me. You've got to consider every agent locally to make sure you don't miss out that one that's going to give you an outstanding experience and not undersell your house. Thank you for watching. This is Moving Home with Charlie. I'm Charlie. This is Sam, who hasn't got a word in edgeways in this episode.
I've got loads to say though. I was just going to do my own episode. I'm going to do it when I go home.